Happy New Year 2020. The year is going to be interesting for me. It's going to be my last full year in Texas. In 2021, I'm going to do a cross-country trip, planning on doing a bicycling trip. The original idea was to do a cross-country motorcycle trip in my late 60s. However, 6 years ago now, I switched to bicycling full-time and became a big enough enthusiast where I decided to change my plans and do a cross-country bicycle trip at 60, which will be 2021. So this year and the first couple of months of 2021 will be the pre-trip stage. There's quite a bit to do. On a professional level, I need to transition my various work responsibilities over to others in multiple departments. Personal level, I could start the trip tomorrow. However, there are various factors, physically, financially, socially, that I need to tidy up before I leave. On the physical front, I'm not in terrible shape, but especially since I've been cycling for 6 years. But I could have done better, and so this will be the last year before the trip when I'll be able to tighten things up, so to speak. And similarly, on the financial front, I'm not doing badly, but things have been more oriented toward long-term savings. My short-term liquidity is a bit tighter than it should, so that I don't need to cut into my long-term savings. I need to expand my liquid assets. Basically, I need to increase my cash on hand so that I don't have to cut into my long-term savings. I've got to tighten up my spending belt as well as my diet belt, so to speak. That sounded kind of weird, but I'll leave it in. And also on the physical front, I need to increase my distance training. When I first started cycling, oddly enough, I was doing more long distance runs than I have in the last couple of years. I need to kind of flip that and get back into doing 100-mile days like twice a week. During work days, I have probably about 10 miles each way. So on the weekend is when I need to start pushing. So my goal is to do at least one day each weekend, gradually moving to doing it at least one day over 100 and a day over 50 on Saturday and Sunday, and make that a routine. Obviously that's going to change things and on the social side, so that'll be a bit of an adjustment, but I can't train much for the mountains because I'm in a fairly flat area of Texas, but I can definitely compensate by getting the distance in. So all of that in the next year. I plan on documenting the rides in particular, but how I'm doing on the various fronts, what equipment, apps, and so on that I'll be taking. So I hope that it'll be interesting, maybe inspirational. While I'm in Houston, I thought I would start getting back into doing some Houston area riding videos that might be helpful and or entertaining. This map gives a general idea of the routes which I'm looking at taking. Basically, I'm going north to visit family in Missouri, and then northeast to visit my dad in New Hampshire. Then I'll hit the East Coast and go across the country east to west. I know that's the more difficult route because of the wind being mostly west to east, so I'll be getting a lot of headwind, but I think it's important to visit my family during the trip, especially my dad, who will be 90, probably 91 when I hit California. So I want to make sure that I spend some time with him in case I don't get back to see him again. There are two lines going from Colorado to California because I'm generally undecided whether I'll take the northern route or the southern route. If I take the northern route, then it'll be more mountainous, more challenging for a 60-year-old. But it will also allow me to travel through the northern California, which I haven't done anything in. I've spent all my time in California, San Francisco and south, mostly in the Santa Barbara area. If I take the southern route, then that'll take me through a less mountainous area, and it'll give me a chance to visit the Grand Canyon again on my way to California. Either route, I'll wind up in Santa Barbara, and my intent is to resettle there. So that's it. Still got a lot of details to work out. What type of routes I'm going to take. There's plenty of options. I'll supply additional maps as I fine tune it. I'm welcome to any suggestions. You can leave in the comments on this or other related videos, and I'll take those into account. Well,